The card on the bottom left for the base of your spine for sourcing and urgings, you received the Hangman. The story goes that this depicts the Norse god Odin, hanging from the branch of the world tree, Yggdrasil, for 9 days while peering into the well of destiny, called Urds, for the mystical wisdom of the runes, which means secret magic letters. The rune symbols were then carved onto the trunk of the world tree to carry these messages to their 9 worlds. Odin's quest conquered his struggle within by sacrificing himself to himself for a rebirth. He relinquished freedom of the outside world for stillness to acquire the rune's wisdom through his spiritual journey of death to rebirth. His lesson is to stop controlling the physical world. Look at it in a different light. Relinquish the old ideas because new ideas are avidly seeking their place. Allow things to go with their natural flow without opposition. The actions induced by the Hangman must be preceded by a time of great reflection. The clarification card is death. You're in a transformation. And let's say it's a transition or even a transmutation. It's like the conversion of energy in the material world to reincarnate you into the spiritual world. Change is not your enemy. Your enemy is resisting change. You have to go with the intrinsic flow of the universe, and with the death card, you can't avoid change. You can kick and scream all you want, but once the death card gets a handle on you, you can't stop this transformation. Now let's take a look at the past card to the left of the Hanged Man and the death card. It's justice. Now justice is number 11, the Hangman is number 12, and death is number 13. So it appears to me that justice meted out some type of punishment or some retribution of some sort, and this threw you into the Hanged Man, sacrifice and looking for the spiritual you, trying to allow things just to flow. And the natural progression was the death card. You were transforming at the same time. Now up above the Hanged Man and the death card, for the pelvic and sacrum for awakening and arousing, receive the Fool. You're ready to go on a new journey to discover the mysteries of life, and for a self-discovery too, because you've been now isolated and thinking about things with the Hangman and transforming with the death card, and it's only natural now that you go on a new journey. The clarification card is the Lover's card. This is about making a decision, making a good decision, making a virtuous decision. And here this could also be related to the Justice card. Maybe something happened in a relationship that set you back. Maybe Justice was unhappy and welded her sword of accountability, making you accountable or somebody else for their actions. Now up above the Fool and the Lover's card, for the solar plexus for sensing and feeling, you have the Three of Wands. After thinking about things and transforming, you've made some plans. Three of Wands is a card of motion, it's movement. The wheels are spinning around. Your plans are coming into reality. The clarification card is the Knight of Swords. But you have to be very careful with the Knight of Swords. He's very impetuous, and maybe somebody's galloping into your life and will gallop out just as fast, or maybe you're galloping along too fast and not thinking through what you're doing. As many of the Swords cards, the Knight of Swords can be somewhat dysfunctional. He's too intense. He's too knee-jerk reaction kind of guy. His presence does call to action, to slow down. It's time to take some time and think over and go back into the hangman mode. Now the center card, for the heart of the matter, you see the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, fate is on your side. The wheel is on the upswing. It's telling you change is at hand. And some of this change may dramatically sway away from the status quo of what you're used to. A lot of times this is telling you to leave the past behind so you can live in the present and the future. Just like the Death card, you can't stop the transformation. And you can't stop the fate of the Wheel of Fortune. This is one instance where it's out of your hands. But this card offers great opportunities and new choices. Now the clarification card is the Three of Pentacles. I call it the architecture card because it's about building. And maybe you're building something, or you're a vital part of something being built. Maybe this opportunity of building something just dropped into your lap, with it being conjoined with the Wheel of Fortune. The card on the bottom right, for your throat, for your communicating and teaching, you receive the King of Cups. And the clarification card is the Ten of Swords. I want to discuss them together. The King of Cups is the apex of emotions and love. He's a man that's molten lava inside, but he can be rather stoic on the outside. One thing he can do is he can ameliorate injured hearts. He has good counsel for people that have broken hearts, achy hearts from severing of ties, breakups of lovers, deaths. And here the Ten of Swords is saying something happened to you. You were stabbed in the back or betrayed. Something happened that brought about a real dramatic change in your life. This dramatic change has really affected you. And it really is time to get out of your funk and listen to what the King of Cups has to say to you. This could be a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, male or female, or just anybody that has that traits, but there's going to be somebody in your life that is going to say something that's just going to click in your mind and say, yeah, that's right. You know, I remember when my father died years ago, and I hadn't slept for 3 months, and I was saying to somebody at work that I was going to die if I didn't sleep. And the phone rang. And the woman that I worked for told me, yeah, she wanted to call me earlier, but she felt now this was the time. And she said that she didn't sleep for a year after her father died. And she went on and talked to me for about a half hour. And after that, it all made sense. And somebody's going to come into your life too and help you out. Now up in the third eye, for your seeing and envisioning, you receive the Six of Cups. This is a memory card. This is a card about childhood and the past. It's not only you didn't receive the Six of Cups once, the clarification card is the Six of Cups too. Just in case you missed the message that this is about memories in the past. You have to remember, though, you have to keep only the good memories and only take note of the bad memories, because nostalgia can be a very tricky thing. Not all childhood memories are pleasant. A lot of times we idolize, and distort things from our past, and this causes disappointments when you face reality in the future. But this cup's also full of blooming hope for the present and the future if you learn the lessons from the past. This also could be somebody from the past walking into your life now and dramatically changing it. Can also indicate a deceased person that is now being a guardian and helping you through the bumpy roads in your life. Once you've gone down memory lane, put things in perspective and make sure you realize that you've grown up. However, this card can have a lot of positive things too. It's about gifts, rekindled love, new environments, and knowledge sharing. It can be even about inheritance of money or taking care of sick relatives. It can be about the blessed event of childbirth and just the loving care of family and friends. Up above the Six of Cups cards, for the crown for knowing and understanding, you receive the High Priestess. It's saying you're discovering the spiritual you, that you've listened to her subtle messages from the cosmos that's been brought down to earth to you. She's now a guiding light to you. Maybe it's a light coming out of the past, having you now live in the present and looking forward to the future. The clarification card is the Seven of Pentacles. I call this coming to harvest card. You're not there yet. You haven't harvested. It's like a farmer. His crops are almost ripe and he's ready to harvest. But this is a time where frost, hail, flooding can wipe him out and he won't see the abundance and the fruit of his labors. This is telling you it's a time to be vigilant. The past card on the left, as I noted, is the Justice card. Somewhere there was some type of justice meted out, as I'd mentioned. Her presence usually indicates that something was out of balance, and now it appears that the scales is balancing back out, but it's kind of fragile. I even see that when you're trying to calibrate the scales, it's still kind of bouncing around, and even just a feather has it bouncing back and forth. So just make sure that things are going into an equilibrium. Maybe it's about making peace with your past and the people you knew in your past. Now the future card is the Ace of Swords. This is about new beginnings, but it's a fickle card about new beginnings because the sword has two edges to it, and it can be intellect that imposes justice. And this brings us back to the Justice card. And the other side of the coin is that it supports deception and evil. So you have to be careful with the sword and use it for the positive. Use it to cut through the crap and get to the heart of the matter and not be undercutting. Because sometimes it can challenge logic over emotions. It can challenge truth and justice. It can bring sudden changes that can be positive or negative. It can draw or require you to draw inner strength. It can be like lightning too and bring epiphanies that shine a light on very significant things and suddenly make things crystal clear. Don't forget that Swords is about the mind and intellect, and make sure it's mind over matter. It appears the overall energy for many of the signs in the latter part of April is about making decisions and walking down memory lane. Now for you, I don't think you're backtracking down memory lane very much, but you are faced with decisions and also dealing with the ramifications of some of your past decisions. Let's take a look at your spread. The center cards for the present, you receive the Chariot and the Two of Wands. The Chariot's about discipline, strength, using willpower to overcome the evil in the hearts of man. It's about overcoming challenges. The Hanson Roberts card really hit it on the head because in the front of the Chariot is a yin and yang symbol, and it is indicating there's a seed of good and bad and a seed of bad and good. This is about duality and the Dr. and Jekyll and Mr. Hyde syndrome. And you really have to overcome the nature of man while you're making decisions. And the clarification card is the Two of Wands. Any two card is about decisions, balance, partnership. This is a card that says in the backdrop you've been making some kind of plans, but you haven't launched them yet. But the Chariot is there because he's a card about movement and going forward. So right now, you're in the process of putting your plans into action. Now the cards up above for your prospects receive the Ten of Pentacles and the Hermit. The Ten of Pentacles is a happiness card, a card of comfort for wealth and family. But you have to live a simple life and be happy with the luxuries that you have. And any 10 card indicates that there's endings and new beginnings. So once again, you're back to making decisions. And the clarification card is the Hermit. This is your desire to change your unconscious inner self. You're on a cosmic mission of desperately seeking you. This is a solo journey within yourself to acquire wisdom. You're using the light in his lamp for enlightenment and a staff for guidance on your journey of self-discovery. Now I pulled a clarification card for the Ten of Pentacles and the Hermit, and you received the King of Pentacles. All kings assist in attaining your long-term goals. And for the King of Pentacles, it's about wealth and health. It's about financial and personal well-being. And he's the apex. He knows how to run a business. He can be a CEO of a business. He takes care of business. But he's not greedy. He just has the knack of making money and then taking advantage of the luxuries that money brings. Now down in the past, you received the Emperor and the Seven of Cups. The King of Pentacles is kind of like the Emperor. The Emperor is about running his empire. He uses structure and order to make decisions. He uses logic and his intellect to make decisions. But the clarification card is the Seven of Cups. This is splayed energy. It's indicating difficult decisions. Every cup has a prize or a poison, and you have to decide. But what you have to understand is that every decision is only based on the information you have at the time. Now the cards down on the bottom for problems, you received a Judgment and the Justice card. It appears that the decisions the Emperor made has trickled down to the problem category. There was some kind of judgment made against the decisions that you'd made. And the Judgment card also indicates that there has to be some kind of forgiveness. Even though at this point you probably preferred forgiveness than asking permission front end, it's still about forgiveness of yourself for making a bad decision or asking other people to forgive you. But Judgment is also about rebirth. You know, you're the phoenix rising out of the ashes. Now the clarification card is Justice, and when justice shows up at a spread, it means something's been out of balance. And you have to find an equilibrium. There's something going on with the fulcrum here, and I think now it's kind of saying that, yeah, things are starting to balance out, because I pulled another clarification card and you received the Star. Aquarius rules the Star card, so this is indicating you. And the Star card's about finding your position on Earth, getting your sextant out and finding where you're at in life. it's also about hope and healing. It's about the fog dissipating and you're seeing more clarity now and you're understanding. Maybe way back when you were the emperor, you didn't have all the right information and it was kind of cloudy. But now all of a sudden, you're seeing things for what it really was or is. You're seeing things for what they really are. And this is connected to your possibilities, our possibilities for prosperity, because the main card up there is the star again. I always like the analogy about Dante finding his way out of hell by using the guidance of the star. And the clarification card for the star is the Four of Pentacles. Now, there's been a little bit of a theme going on with Pentacles up in your prospects. You had the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Now, normally I say, okay, this is the Miser card. And a lot of times it's really indicating that you're hanging on to something that's not serving you anymore. But in this instance, I feel like you should hang on to the lesson that you learned when you made some bad decisions. They were probably inadvertent bad decisions, but there was some ramifications for it, and you had to deal with it, and everything came back around. And I pulled another clarification card for the star and the Four of Pentacles, and you received the Nine of Cups, the Wish card. So it's saying here, too, there's going to be this aspect of luck and good fortune involved in the next decisions you make, because presently you have the Chariot and the Two of Wands, and it's saying you're moving forward with some new plans.